I want to talk to you about Salome, which is over 100 works dealing with John the Baptist and this really powerful, strong Salome projected in these images. There's a lot of Orientalism in this with her veil and the way that she looks and the way that she's presented in your work. And then you also have the woman of the Apocalypse, which has John the Evangelical and the great whore and the way that you represent her. And these two women together, you have so many women in the series. You have Salome, you have the great whore, you have Jezebel, you have all these representations and manifestations of women.
The work in both the Apocalypse and Salome series reveal many aspects and characteristics that are intricately related. In the fantastic visions, St. John admonishes Jezebel, then proceeds to describe dual femininity, or symbolized on one hand by the Heavenly Mother as the immaculate woman represented by the shining sun, and on the other hand the earthly woman represented by the moon, which is under the domination and eclipsed by the sun. The heavenly woman flees from the menacing red dragon and escapes him, and she's received by the mountains of God. Whereas the earthly woman sits on a scarlet beast, and she's clothed in purple and scarlet, filled with gold and precious stones, and she holds in her hand a cup full of abomination. She's the great harlot, representing, of course, Babylon the Great, is later destroyed by some kind of divine warrior. In the story of Salome, and particularly in Oscar Wilde's Salome, John the Baptist speaks almost with the same tone in admonishing and attacking Herodias, wife of King Herod and mother of Salome. When Salome appears early in the play, she descends from the white, great, beautiful moon. She is flying in the sky and so on. She's wearing a veil, which ironically is a symbol of virginity. But once on earth, she takes the whore side of femininity and goes after John, who rejects her and her advances. Then later, during the great banquet celebrating the birthday of the king, she accepts to dance, and she brings the 7 veils. The magic number 7 appears a lot in the Revelation, and here we have the 7 veils, which really as a form of striptease, in which she takes off one veil at a time as she dances until she is completely naked before the multitude of men, the king and everybody, all these officers watching her dance in the naked.
There is a great parallel here between the two series, between the Apocalypse and between this Dance of Salome series, in terms of the role of women and the Oriental woman, and the way that they're portrayed.
In the play, Salome, in Oscar Wilde, was fully aware of all this as he makes interchanges of names between the two Johns, between the heroes, Herod the Great or his son, and between the great harlot and Herodias. And in so many coincidences, descriptions, tones, symbols, and metaphors, we find a lot of similarities between the two.
You call your series specifically The Dance of Salome. Not just Salome, but The Dance of Salome. So this is clearly what has inspired you and what you've chosen to portray in your work.
In my works, the Salome paintings, the title La Danse de Salome reflects the depiction of Salome in the way she moves and dances in almost every single scene of every painting and drawing.